Today's question is, do you have ostrichitis? Can't even pronounce it properly. Are you the type of person that typically buries your head in the sand when times get tough, or you don't want to deal with something, you don't want to have a tough conversation, you don't want to acknowledge something, you don't want to look at something that's uncomfortable? Do you bury your head in the sand? It reminds me of when I was a young lad in my 20s. And I remember I loved a good party, and I would often go out and binge drink and get stupidly drunk and have a wild time. And in the days that would follow the night out, I would often find myself feeling really anxious, especially around finances, because I had no idea how many times I'd waved my credit card at a girl at the bar to get her a drink in order to try and impress her. And so my strategy: just avoid the finances altogether and hope that they go away. Now, the problem with this burying your head in the sand is, even if an ostrich buries its head in the sand, it can still get eaten by a lion. And the same concept applies when it comes to dealing with the real problem that I see facing people in business. Many people think that the real problem is lead generation and getting sales and getting new clients and growing your business. And while that is a problem, I don't disagree with that. And often having the right strategy for you and your business is very important. Most people have already done a bunch of courses, read a bunch of books, gone on webinars, attended virtual summits, and they have all of the strategies they need. Answer this: have you ever been to, let's say, a live event and made lots of notes before, but not actually done anything with them? Now, for the most part, people who go to those events, 80% of people will do nothing with it. This is the same reason why only 5% of people ever complete an online course. 5%. Never mind how many actually get results, because it takes you to take action in order to get results. And one of the things I see, I coach in a private community of coaches, and one of the things I see is that people love just staying in the course. They love learning. They love feeling that sense of achievement that they're moving through the course, but they're not actually implementing anything. And so this avoidant behavior, this avoiding the thing that's uncomfortable, this is the thing which offers the biggest breakthrough. And this is the thing that will get you eaten by the lion. If you think about this in business, have you ever asked yourself the question, I got this from the Diary of a CEO book, great question. Have you ever asked yourself the question, why will this business fail? Or why will this idea fail? Because most of us have things like a confirmation bias. We have a loss aversion bias. We have a bias towards holding on to an idea when we've invested time and effort into it, because it feels more painful to let go of the time, energy, and money we've invested in it than to actually go and step into something that could possibly work. So we hold on to what we know. You may be familiar with the term, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. So if you're finding yourself avoiding the things that are uncomfortable, and this is exactly what happens when it comes to business, people ignore the fact that they're not doing the outreach on a daily basis. People ignore the fact that they're not having enough conversations with their ideal prospects, and they focus and avoid that discomfort and go and do the thing that feels more comfortable. I know I'm going to make my social media look pretty. I know I'm going to make my website look good. I know I'm going to check my emails, check my social media, do 101 things and procrastinate in order to avoid doing the thing that I know I need to do. When I can tell you from my own experience of struggling to make more than about 20K a year in my business in the first 5 years, I know that the biggest opportunity was when you really face and lean into the reality of what is the real problem. And the real problem for most people is they are doubting themselves. They don't have confidence in themselves. They lack self-belief, and so they don't make a decision. They procrastinate on a decision and do lots of other things. They have fears of failure. They have a lack of focus. They try and do too many things at once. They're overcommitted. They are often jumping from one thing to the next, and most people give up too quickly. They don't stick with a strategy long enough. They don't do things consistently. And it's a bit like going to the gym. And tell me if you've ever done this before. You ever been to the gym before and you've done one workout after not going to the gym or working out for a long time, and you've looked in the mirror, maybe this is just me, and you've gone, whew, I think I've lost weight. I think I'm getting a six-pack already. Looking a bit more ripped. Now, maybe you're looking a bit more ripped because you've got a bit of a pump on, right? Which makes sense. But if you just go to the gym one time or you do one bicep curl, are you ever going to get the result? And it's exactly the same in business, because when it gets uncomfortable, when people take an action, they don't get the result, it's not enjoyable. It's not fun. Nobody likes losing. However, it's by leaning into that discomfort, that's where the biggest opportunity for growth is. So you probably already know what you're avoiding right now. The question for you, though, is, are you willing to go there? Are you willing to lean in and do what's necessary to make that change that you know you need to change right now? Whether that be a difficult conversation, whether that going and tackling your self-doubt or your fear or your lack of focus by doing a course, hiring a mentor, hiring a coach, doing something, hiring someone that can help you. And only you know the answer. So I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll speak to you soon.